with dreams, colors come alive. Chameleons changing, no two are alike. Inspired to learn about the world outside. Here I go, on a journey wild and wide. Microscopes zoom in a whole new sight. Madagascar beckons, it's a magical flight. Exploring the wonders with eyes open wide. I'm on a quest with knowledge as my guide. Woodworking hands shaping dreams anew, creating beauty from the depths of truth. Building bridges, connecting old and new. Crafting tales that will touch hearts through.
I got my chameleon back when he was small. Watched him blow up, colors covered the wall. I played pretend, act like I don't see, so we won't get scared, just let it be. But when a tasty bug comes around, he'll come out bold. Can't hide on the ground with his colors shining like a neon sign. Chameleon rock, he's a sight to find. Chameleon rock, he's a sight to find. Chameleon rock, changing every day. Colors the light in a vibrant display. He's a rhythm chaser climbing up high. Chameleon rock, he's a star in the sky.
Hello, Chameleon Academy. Welcome. Let me see. Get this. Hello, everybody. Very good to see you. And looks like we got a hopping chat. So the big question is, can anybody hear me? Because I did a test on this a test a little bit earlier, and nobody could hear me, which of course is a little bit concerning. But hopefully you all can hear me now. Always good to hear what's up, as long as you're hearing me. So couldn't figure out what the problem was. Excellent. Thank you very much for that feedback. We're good to go then. It's getting cold. I know some of you have had snow already, but this California boy, it's always a huge thing when I actually have to put on jackets. That's how I am. Hey, Rufus is here. And hello, Nick. Good to see you here and everybody. By the way, get this. I'll make this announcement a little bit later on, but I'll make it now. There are 2 spots that have opened up in the January Madagascar trip from, January 8th to the 22nd? I better get those dates right. So if you are interested in going to Madagascar and you're kind of the spontaneous sort and are saying, okay, yeah, I'll go in January, email me, let me know. I'm going to put my email there down there. So let me know if you would like. This is something that just came up. So, I was kind of like thinking Marsha Ann and Renee ought to do it. So you guys just let me know. And they're both here, which is wonderful. Hello, Kazao Kuza, Japan. Good morning. It's evening here and morning there. I love having an international show. And So everybody tell me what you are doing to get ready for winter. Two Turtle Tom says it's 40 in Ohio right now. What the heck? 37 where Exotic Bob's Machacos, the fishy plumber, is having a good evening. Good evening. James says that would be awesome, Bill. Probably talking about Marsha Ann and Renee joining us. And so I think that's an excellent idea. Ooh, thank you very much, Eric. Starting off the day with a coffee. Matthew is asking, how am I doing? I gotta be honest, I'm going crazy here. I've got that crazy that create your own reptile YouTube channel thing going on, and you know what? Every one of those episodes is a premiere, which means there's a live chat every day at 1 p.m. And you know, today I got in so late. I only caught the premiere at the end when the end music was going. And do you know why that is? It's because someone in my house made the clock correct. I was going by an oven which doesn't update automatically, and we never updated it. And so I just got used to looking at the time and subtracting an hour from it and saying, okay, that's the time. So it said 1 o'clock, and I thought, oh, it's 12. I got another hour. No, somebody in this house changed it so it was correct, and you didn't need a cheat code. So now I know. Anyway, so I was late to my own event. What the heck? So let's see. Love to. I'm starting a new job on Monday. Yeah, you know, it's really sad when going to a job interferes with the good things in life. But I fully understand, by the way. Yes. We are still basking. Oh, Renee, you are so lucky. Oh my goodness. Matthew, can we have some info on milk snakes and red-eyed frogs? If I had it, I would give it to you, and I'm sorry, but I am really good at chameleons. I am exceptionally good at chameleons. But now you're stretching. I've had red-eyed tree frogs before. I love them, but I would not be the one to be giving you information on either one of those. So I won't even try. Let's see. Zizi Pepe is going to be, let's see. Zizi Pepe is glass screen or glass cage for my panther chameleon. Not here, but on the other platform. Possibly, because I'm going to start bringing on more people who know those kind of things, and I know somebody who knows red-eyed tree frogs. So that's very possible that I'll have information on other reptiles on the other platform, which, by the way, everybody, I've renamed it to Bill Strand because Misty Forest Dragons was kind of like, well, what the heck is that? Bill Strand, it's just me, and I want to do things that I want to do. It's kind of like my fun channel. So I don't know that I'm going to be strictly reptiles. I'm going to be doing stuff like how you do a YouTube channel. It's like definitely things that's going to have to do with the reptile community, but I'm going to color outside the lines. So I renamed the channel to Bill Strand. Simple enough. Simple enough. Zizi Pepe says screen or glass cage for my panther chameleon. That depends on what your external environment is. The more your environment, the room that you're in, matches what the panther chameleon needs, the more screen you need on that cage, because screen allows the ambient conditions in. The more you need to modify the living area of your panther chameleon, the more solid sides you need. If you need to retain humidity, add on the plastic sides. If you need to retain humidity and temperature, glass is the best choice. So either screen or glass, they're both effective depending upon what the external environment is. I know we go back and people go, we have a number of places where you can go where people freak out if there's anything other than a screen cage for a chameleon. I'm going to go ahead and be really blunt on this. Um, that is a myth. I know where that myth came from because I was part of the community that built up that myth, and I watched it go off in totally the wrong direction. So there are a number of people, especially on Facebook and these groups and old time breeders, that believe in that and have never learned more about it. And really, that's it, because I have produced so much educational material. Other people have produced so much educational material on this exact topic. And I mean, Facebook groups are real, and like Reddit and all that, they're real bad about moving with the times and learning new things. And so what's important is you understand when to use screen cage, when to use hybrid, when to use our PVC, when to use glass. So that is the nice answer. Oops, sorry. My Rambo has 4 months. When will he be able to pair with Ramba? And do I let them get on with it? If this is a Panther Chameleon, wait until they've colored up. And that's, I mean, I would wait until they're adult, maybe a year old, but at least until they color up into their adult, to their adult colors. All right, 2-year-old Tom's going to be sleeping until April. All right, excellent. What is that channel called? Right now, the channel is called Bill Strand. Yeah. That's what it's going to be called. Oh, hey, we got Yvette is listening. Hello, Yvette. Yvette, did you change that? The oven clock is either you or me. There's somebody in here who did it right. Veiled Chameleon. Veiled Chameleon, I would wait until they're adult. And when is their adult? You know, depending upon, the thing is, when chameleon, it's really hard to tell when chameleons are mature, because the different species will mature at different rates depending upon how well they're fed, what their temperatures are. And so you just gotta, I would wait until they're an adult. I can't give you a time period because it's different for everyone. Although I will say, just generally speaking, 9 to 12 months. That's right. Is breeding, incubating, hatching, and taking care of baby chameleons difficult? Trick question. No, it's not difficult. Yes, it takes a heck of a lot of time, space, money, infrastructure. It's actually easy. The hardest part about chameleons is they don't like to be raised together. And I know people have done it, and it's miserable when people do it, because the babies are stressed out. The babies sometimes physically attack each other, and that stresses out the keeper. So the hardest part about raising up baby chameleons is setting them up with individual cages. If you can set them up with individual cages, so you're raising them individually, which is how they're supposed to be done, then it's actually quite easy. You just follow the recipe. So many people have bred Panther chameleons. It's not simple. It's not going to fall into your lap, but we have the information out there. The information is there if you are going to be hanging out in this community. I mean, the information is all on chameleonacademy.com. So you just have to be prepared to set them up properly, which is pretty expensive because you need individual cages. That's the trick. That's the trick. And so the number one way that people burn themselves out is they breed too much. It's too easy to have 2 clutches at once, just 2 females. And that is way more than a single person can reasonably handle unless they're really dedicated to it. So don't overdo it, and raise them individually. Let's see. It's like Bob saying, hey, Yvette, them leaf tails are so awesome. I have to get one. Oh, I tell you, I love it when she brings one. I wonder, Yvette, are you listening? Would you bring one in to show everybody? We'll see. We'll see if she brings one in to show us. Okay, she can't bring one in. She's very busy right now. But you know, I push my luck. That's what I do. So hey, hello, Dean. Saying hello to everybody. Lizzie Bordent Dents. Dex says, I just got a Panther Chameleon 5 days ago. First 3 days, he seemed normal. But the last 2 days, he's been in a plant all day, but will still eat. Is he just adjusting or reason for concern? Oh, he may still be adjusting as long he may be trying to hide because he doesn't feel secure. And so you want to look to see if you can give him more plant cover. Is there a reason why he's feeling insecure? But if he's eating, if his eyes are open, then there isn't a reason for concern. If his eyes are closed, then yes, there's reason for concern. Let's see. So yeah, that's it. But if he's hiding in a plant, that's a security. That's a security behavior, an insecure behavior. So maybe look at giving him more plants. Obviously, I don't know the situation, but that's where I would start to look. All right, Yvette, you've got yourself a message from the people who are watching your videos. Want to say you should cut yourself some slack. You are extremely likable, and I really enjoyed your first video. Thank you very much, Stinky. That was, oh, she says thank you. Oh, Stinky's got a, I need to check out Stinky's videos. Every time my male panther sees me, he goes crazy and starts climbing all over the place and on the upper screen. He scratches at the glass and climbs to the top of my head, which hurts because I'm bald. Okay. Oh, boy. Yes. All right, just working through the chat here. Working on a better one following Bill's YouTube series. By the way, everybody, that is what they're talking about is I am doing a series on creating your own YouTube channel. And it's on my other YouTube channel just called Bill Strand. I guess the handle is The Bill Strand because Bill Strand was taken. So The Bill Strand. Oh, boy. All right. And we're still going every day. Every day I'm launching an episode. That's a tutorial, and I will be doing that throughout the entire month of November. And yeah, and it's pretty intense. When you do a long form video every day, it's pretty intense. It's kind of fun, but I'll be glad when I can rest a little bit. Input on inquiring Christopher Campani, maybe Michael Nash. Michael has, I don't know what Michael has these days. Because he is now in residency. I don't know if you know, Michael is like this genius. You wouldn't know. He's like a PhD, MD, he's in residency, and he's researching things that are essentially save future generations. And I'm not kidding. So he's really deep into his residency. So I don't know how much breeding he'll be doing. How's the Shamrock Chameleons doing? They're hanging in there. And like I said, I have a female who's acting like she wants to, like she's developing eggs, and a female that definitely has eggs, and I'm waiting for her to lay. So maybe, but I've been saying maybe for who knows how long now. But Bill, you have to pronounce it the Bill Strand. Oh, okay. I'm getting used to the. I'm getting used to my articles. Let's see. Joe Catano says, due to unforeseen circumstances, I have to keep my chameleons outside for a couple of nights, and the temperature has been around 50 degrees at the low. In the morning, should I assist them going to heat? First of all, Joe, what kind of chameleons are these? Species does matter at this point. 50 degrees, most species can handle going down to 50 degrees, but they will want to heat up in the day. Like, for example, I have my chameleons outdoors now, and it's getting down to 50 degrees. But my days go up to the high 70s and they're sunny. So the nighttime low is not the problem. The problem is if they can't warm up during the day. So I'm not concerned about chameleons getting down to 50s at night as long as they can warm up during the day. So the answer is yes. Assist them going to heat and below panthers, definitely. Definitely. They're not going to really appreciate going down to 50 for too long, but they'll have no problem doing it. Things will slow down as far as growth. So if they're babies, they'll survive it. I don't recommend it. It will stunt their growth if they can't warm up. But they'll survive just fine. Warm up during the day. Whew, okay. My 4-month-old just shed yesterday, and he has some shed stuck on his eye. How long should I let it go before assisting him? If you can get a hold of it now, go ahead and do it now. But be very, very gentle. They do not like being picked at, and so he'll jerk his head away, unexpectedly. And so if you're sitting there with tweezers, then he could hurt himself. So be very careful. But you can play around with it now. Just go in and do a little bit as far as getting the shed off. But the one thing that you got to be careful about is if the shed has been on for a while, it may be stuck to the skin below. And if you pull on it, you could damage the skin below. So you have to be really gentle when you start messing with the shed. And so I just say, go slow. Don't rip it off. If you do a Band-Aid thing, then you could really damage some skin. Miss checking out the eggs. Me too. I cannot wait to get more eggs because for those who are new here, I used to bring out the eggs every time when I had my brevicorn eggs. And you guys followed me for what? 4-6 months checking on the eggs until they actually hatched on camera. And that was the coolest thing. James, I hear there be Nile crocodiles in Madagascar. They can jump the full length of their body, so I recommend climbing way up high in the tree tops. But you know what? Don't encourage him to climb trees. What the heck? By the way, we're not going anywhere near Nile crocodiles. Yep. Marsha, I want eggs. You need baby chameleons. I know. Oh. See, Nick Wiltz is asking, best plants for chameleon enclosure. I have large screen enclosure, 2-year-old female. What are the best plants? I like pothos, spider plants, and around the area that the heat lamp may be, I use Hoya, the waxy plant. So those are my go-tos. Also, for the fun of it, use prayer plants. Schefflera is good. The basics. The basics work so well for you. I mean, pothos is the perfect chameleon plant. I missed the hatch. Dean, it was amazing. It was a Tuesday night, and I checked earlier in the day, no hatching, and then I showed everybody the eggs. And when I was showing everybody the eggs, I realized, oh my gosh, there's a baby in there. So everybody got to see it for the first time with me. It was kind of fun. I have to figure out which episode that was and go back and take a clip of it, because I literally figured out that it had hatched online. Hey, all, sorry, late as always. Bill, is 60-ish relative humidity during the day bad? It's very good. My RH is usually hovering between 60 to 90, 95 at nighttime spring. Is that range? That's perfect range. That's great range. The reason why we go down in humidity during the day is so the cage dries out. But the chameleons will do fine with 50 to 60, even higher during the day, as long as there's air exchange. See, that's the problem. The reason why we talk about going lower during the day is because we generally get higher humidity by cutting down on air exchange. So that going down low in humidity is an artifact of captivity and how we keep the chameleons. If we could have airflow and 90% humidity, the chameleons would do just fine. Yeah. Can I get those in a DM, please? Nick, go to chameleonacademy.com/plants. You will get everything you need on the website. You don't have you don't have to get any special DM. Go to chameleonacademy.com/plants and you'll have it all. Yeah, it's all there. Snake Eyes. Bill, new chameleon owner here. Do chameleons act differently when going into shed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was able to snag this one.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Shoot.
yes, that's what I said. All right, everybody. Oh my goodness.
Take it.
there's a little fant. This is a Missy Mountain fant. So this is my wife Yvette. Breeds these. She's one of the I'd say the world's most prolific breeder of Eurypletus fantasticus. And there is one. You want to come say hi to everybody?
Okay.
You're looking great. You're looking great. There we go. Mm-hmm. And so there is. I mean, these little these little things are so cool, perching on your finger. Thank you so much. Oh, I love these. These are so cool. These are like the best geckos in the world.
The tail is awesome. I love it. I'm gonna look.
And they do jump. There we go.
Little.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Oh, so is the chameleon acting differently when going into shed? Yeah, sometimes they are a little. They can stop eating. They can be a little bit lethargic, and they look gray. So that's why people just freak out, because their colors dull. So let's see. Okay, I got to catch up on the chat here. By the way, if anybody's interested in getting a Fantasticus, MistyMountainFants.com is the place to go. And I know she takes care of those. Every single one. Yeah, the live hatching was so cool. How are the baby Brebs doing? They're doing great. They're doing great. I'm trying to fatten them up to the point where they graduate from 2-week crickets. That'll be fun when they grow up. And by the way, Wayne Abides, I was there on the live chat this afternoon. I just came in late, but I saw everybody talking, and I tried to get in to talk to everybody. Oh boy. Brand new exotic Sambava coming in tomorrow. Excellent. Okay. See, Lori Pabst has a 4-month piebald veil chameleon that doesn't like to be held. Trying to put him in a bigger tank. What's a good way to get him? Oh, well, you could always, if you're able to put the tanks next to each other, you could put a food bin, like one of those feed or run cups, in the back of the cage you want them to go to, and just let them find it, because veiled chameleons are sometimes very they will go they are food motivated, so maybe that's a way you could do it. But yeah, they when you get a veiled chameleon, doesn't want to come out of their cage, they don't come out. that's just not gonna happen. Oh, has anyone tried eating chameleon eggs? All right, Dean. I mean, is Tuesday night wine night? No. No. Male chameleons laid way too many eggs. I'm just saying that is absolutely correct. We should not be breeding veiled chameleons. Just got 2 Honelli chameleons. Can't wait to see how they develop in the future. Just Josh, you got a great species. Love Honellis. So, hey, Yvette, are the fans born with their adult pattern or does it change? Yvette,
Yeah.
got a question for you.
I'm having it.
All right.
They
Are the
yes and no.
Oh, okay. Yes and no.
Yes, just like it's a little delayed. Let me take this off. Yes, they are. However, the patterns may brighten, be more pronounced, or sometimes they may lighten up. But that is hopefully the answer you're looking for. Yeah. But yeah, that's or the answer. That is the answer. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, maybe use Parsons eggs. Boy, you people, we got a strange chat tonight. How do we ask questions? Just type it in the chat and be patient. A lot of times I get behind in the chat, so sometimes it takes me a while to get down, but just put a question in the chat and eventually I get to it. Speaking of run cups, how do you teach them to go to their run cup? He will take from the feeder if I hold it in front of him, but if I just leave it in its place in the enclosure, he doesn't go find. That's strange. Chameleons usually prefer the run cup. Are things actually moving in the run cup? I mean, if you use like dubia or something, they'll run and then they'll stop. And if they stop, sometimes the chameleon just ignores them and they can be sitting there for a week. So they got to keep moving. That's the thing. If your chameleon's not going after like a cricket or something that's actually moving in the cup, that's a strange situation. It could be that they are now, that he's now spoiled. Is he tame? Because when a chameleon's tamed down and they know that what you hold in your hand is good, sometimes they'll, especially if they're well fed, they'll get to the point where they only eat out of your hand and they don't care what's going on because they're spoiled. And I can't, and I have no problem with chameleons being spoiled, but that may be the reason. But that's an interesting one. I haven't heard of that one before. Vild shot me in the forehead today. Oh, they do that. Just found your page looking for bugs. Hey, all right. Well, glad to have you. Super cool content. Thank you for sharing. It's been cold lately. We're very glad to have you. I'm glad you stumbled upon this page. Yeah, James knows. Just ask him. It may take him a moment, but he'll get there. Yeah, I get behind in the chat, and then it just takes a while. And yeah, so who got the Honelli? Someone on Instagram. So for everybody, this is actually being a simulcast on Instagram and YouTube, and so we've got 2 different chats going on. So if I answer a question that you're not seeing, well, that's because I've got 2 audiences going on, and I love both my communities. Got to take care of everybody. How do the feeders that stick to this on the side of the cage work for discoid roaches? Would they work for a 3 to 4 day period? Actually, I've not used discoids. I've used dubia, and they work fine as long as the dubia move. Dubia have this habit of just freezing in place, and then the chameleons will sometimes just stare at them, and they'll sit there and stare at each other for a couple of days. So, yeah, I've actually not used discoids. So I don't know. They just got to keep moving. If they keep moving, it should be fine. Yeah. Forgot to ask you, had to kill some pests on a plant. Can you once plant is healthy, clean it good and still use it, or should you just market the loss to just human viewing? Once it depends on what you did to kill the pests. It's really going to be a case by case basis. If you put in some sort of contact poison, then you got to make sure that the contact poison is gone, and there should be some information somewhere about how long it stays on. But you can also use soapy water, wash the leaves, but then it should be fine going back into a chameleon cage. So, all right. By the way, everybody, just as an announcement, a couple announcements. First of all, 2 spaces have opened up in our trip to Madagascar in January. If you are the spontaneous type and you want to go to Madagascar in January, let me know. Contact me at bill@chameleonacademy.com, and I can give you all the details, the dates, and the cost and all that kind of stuff. But 2 people had to drop off due to health concerns. And so they opened up a space, 2 spaces. It's a 1 room, 2 beds. So, Winnabeaties, can I use the jug from a Dollar Tree cleaning ammonia if I thoroughly rinse before using? I would theoretically, I'd suppose so. If there's no more of it left, then you should be able to. Kakota culture, such a dream to get out there. Keep tabs on the Europlate. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. And literally, I mean, it was seeing the Fantastica, Europlatus fantasticus in the wild is it was amazing how well their camouflage worked. I mean, when we get them, they're hard enough to see when you got them in this little cage, but in the wild, it's like, don't you see it? No, I'm almost touching it. I still don't see it. They are so good. And I think, I wish the more people in Europlatus community would go out and see the Europlatus, because during the night, they're just bouncing all over the place, all over the branches. And every time I see a cage for Europlatus and it's just a bunch of poles, I go, oh, that's unfortunate, because that's how they sleep. All these vertical poles, that's how they sleep, but that's not how they bounce around when they're awake. So going to the wild, it's just so educational, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to do it. It gets me thinking about how to better take care of chameleons and such. Diane was telling me warmer. Yeah, okay, well, if you're talking to Diane, he was really happy about finding Fantasticus and Sakura. Oh, let's see. Da, 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 da. There we go. How long can you expect a feeder to work? Like a feeder run cup? How many roaches would you put in for 3 to 4 days? And would you only use roaches or any? So if you're going to be using a feeder run cup, then I just put in five roaches, and do that every other day. And the feeder run cup, of course, will work forever. But if you want to keep those feeders in there, throw in some carrot or something so they can hydrate while they're waiting. But the thing is, if they don't move, the chameleon won't see them. So if you're keeping them in for more than a day, then give them a carrot or something that they can eat. Intermission is asking, what is the ideal basking temperature for panther chameleons? Had some different information, and I don't think my temps were high enough, as I've noticed some digestion issues and lack of appetite. Well, digestion issues and lack of appetite can be attributed to a number of things. It depends on what exactly you're seeing. I mean, I use 85 degrees. That's what I use. You don't have to go into the 90s, but breeders, like people who've been breeding them for decades, will tell you higher temperatures, and obviously it works for them. So I would look at your chameleon's behavior. Do they Are they sitting under your basking light, and are they dark? Do they act like they want to huddle under your basking light for longer than half an hour or such? Are they darker colors, which is an indication that they want to soak up heat? Since digestion and such, there's so much that affects how well that works. I would suggest that you go further up or further back into their behavior to see if it is actually the heat that's causing a problem. It could be hydration. So many other things could be causing a problem when it gets down to digestion. So that's what I would suggest. It's not enough time to prepare before. Oh my goodness, there is all the time in the world. All you got to do is go to Amazon and buy an adventurer's hat, and you're good to go. Can't remember which jug you use in your. Oh, I love the vinegar. The white vinegar jugs are awesome. That's what I love. Those are my favorite ones. The big ones. Look forward to 2026. I just can't. Yes, and so if you can't go to Madagascar in January 2025, we'll probably, assuming everything goes well. If it's a complete disaster, then maybe we won't do it. But if everything goes well, then we'll be looking to do it again in 2026. My dream trip would be herping, and Stinky says, my dream trip would be herping and singing orchid hunting in Madagascar. Okay, I don't know about singing orchids, but that sounds like fun. We're going to be seeing some carnivorous plants, some little sundews, Drosera madagascariensis in Ranamafana, and around the Palmarium area, we're going to be seeing Nepenthes madagascariensis, the tropical pitcher plant. There's a huge stand of it that we're going to go check out. Very, very cool. How do I know when to slow down feeding my juvenile panther chameleon? Well, that's not easy to tell an exact time. And what you have to do is just watch him. Keep feeding him. And there will come to a point where you're saying, okay, you know what? I think he's full grown. He seems to be growing out instead of everything growing together. And at that point, you're saying, okay, I'm thinking it's time. It really becomes a feeling thing. There's no measurement that we have to say when it is. And it's okay to overshoot that and say, whoops, he's getting a little chunky here. Because when it comes to weight, you can always, I always pull it back and he can lose weight. So it's not something to panic about if you overshoot. So Madagascar is generally a safe place to visit as a Westerner, right? Hope that question is offensive. Nope, that's a very good question, and everybody asks that. It's a smart question to ask. Madagascar is very safe for Westerners. There's no overt resentment towards Americans. They enjoy having the tourists, although most Madagascar people just look at us, go, yeah, okay, other Westerners in a bus. But there's no real political problems. There aren't kidnappings and things like that. The biggest thing you got to worry about are pickpockets, just the general stuff that whenever you go out, like you go out in New York, you're going to have pickpockets, stuff like that. Same in Madagascar. But generally speaking, very safe. No venomous reptiles. Yes, there are Nile crocodiles, but yeah, you know when you're in the area of a Nile crocodile. But so we can walk around at night, and we don't have to worry about stepping on a snake. We do a lot of road hopping. If you go into the outback, you got to be careful of like falling off a cliff or stuff like that. But my trip is not doing that. We're doing very, very, very safe trips. Yeah. Incredible. It is incredible. It is so cool. And I'm going to do my best to keep James on the ground. No more trouble. There we go. Okay, James. James is causing problems. Wayne Beatty says, I wonder if my bank would give me a loan for a few $1,000s so I can leave the country for a week. Yes, they will. They should. Go get money. Go get money and come to Madagascar. Exotic Bob saying, dumb thought. Maybe put a small light at the bottom of the run cup to stir up the roaches, as I think they don't like light, so it could motivate them to move away from lights. Well, the only way to find out is to try it. Try it. That's what I say to everybody who has a crazy idea. Try it. That's what we need to do in this. That's how we move forward when we find out things we never expected. Okay. Art 380 says, in even Bill and Chameleon Game, can coconut fiber be used as a substrate for crickets? I don't know why not. I mean, I've used it. You can. I don't know why not. It should be fine. So jealous. I want to see Nepenthes in the wild. It is very cool. And it's like this sprawling bush. It's this all over. It's incredible. It's like it's a landmark. So much that I'm talking about one specific plant that I know about and I know we're going to go see. It's that big. Now the sundews, I just know the general area that they're at, so we'll have to look for those. Yeah. So Arturo, I'm going to roll my R's as if I know what I'm talking about. Zuninga says, hi, around what age do female chameleons start to lay eggs? Mine started digging in the cocoa fiber substrate a couple days ago, so I put a big Tupperware of vermiculite for her, and she won't touch it. Yeah, that she probably is not going to lay in vermiculite. I would give her some soil sand mixture. Vermiculite, I don't know. Actually, I haven't tried it, so I won't say that she won't. I've just never experienced it, so I'm not going to say she won't. If she does, let me know. But I would say I know that like 50% soil sand mixture works. So I'll say that. But what age do they start to lay eggs? Veiled chameleons, if you really feed them, easily at 6 months, sometimes sooner. But then it could be anywhere from 6 months to 12 months, depending upon how they're fed. If we're talking about a veiled chameleon. I've heard they can burn themselves if the top part of the mesh is too hot. This is correct with a basking lamp. Yes, this is absolutely correct. But they don't need to touch the top. Okay, raising the light has started the issues that I'm currently having. What is your advice? Well, it's not actually the mesh. If they crawl on the bottom of the bottom of the screen, then it is the mesh. That is a problem, the heated mesh. But if they can burn themselves just by having their cask or whatever their head under too hot of a lamp. And so you raise the light. That sounds reasonable to do. And you're saying it started the issues. Once again, I would look for the behavior. We human beings really like to find patterns, and sometimes we connect things that aren't connected. You can lower the light and see what's going on. You just have to make sure it's not too hot where their head is. And really, there's no real easy way to do it. This is a balancing act, and it's going to be different for everybody. That's why doing what I do, chameleon husbandry, it's so hard to do it right because everybody has a unique situation. If you want to do it wrong, just pick some numbers and say this is it. And if it doesn't work for you, then you're doing something wrong. That's really easy to be an internet expert. But if you want to really help people, you have to take into account everybody's situation is different. So you're going to have to figure out where that balance is between hot and too hot, and it is just going to be a balancing act. Me personally, the way I do it is I put the back of my hand in there and I just leave it right at the head level. And if it's uncomfortable, then it's too hot. If it's comfortable, I leave it. And then I watch the chameleon's behavior. if they say they want more through their body language, huddled under the light, I give them more. Otherwise, if they go, they bask, and then they leave, mission accomplished. Tutorial Tom's been to the headhunter lodges in Borneo. Whoa. Okay, dude. That's like hardcore, man. Oh, boy. Want to see pics, maybe alive if possible, of the Nepenthes play. Unfortunately, Exotic Bob's Machacos, unless somebody has a satellite phone, there is no internet where that Nepenthes is. I already know that. Tried. It's can't do it. Can't do it. Can do a video from there and then load it up once we get into internet range, but yeah, that's. I will definitely bring pictures back, though. I am going to bring pictures back of James feeding it an insect. Bonus if James can get the parameters around the Nepenthes. Yeah. I've tried Nepenthes madagascariensis. Not an easy one. Not an easy one. Genevieve says, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Yes, everybody, hit the like button, please. Yeah, that really helps. All right. Let's see. I'm going through the chat, making sure. Okay. Let's see. Thank you very much for your help. New chameleon keeper only had him a few days, but his appetite has declined in the past 2 days. From what I've heard from the breeder, it's a temperature issue. I am going to say that your breeder probably knows more about the situation than I do. So take whatever I say through that lens. So I am not going to contradict somebody who knows more than me about the situation. Though I would say, make sure your temperature is correct. But if you don't have all the behaviors that a chameleon would give if they were cold, then definitely work with the temperature, but keep your mind open as to if it could be something else. And you're going to ask, what else could it be? Yeah. Unfortunately, there could be so much. Once the food all the way gets through, and I assume by digestion problems, you're talking about you don't see poop. Is that what you mean? Because impaction can definitely be caused by it being too cold, but it can be caused by dehydration as well. So definitely look at your temperature, but don't stop looking at other things as well. Oh my gosh. By Calcara. Yes, I love that one. Wonder how similar it is to the ones you'll be seeing. No, it's not. I don't know what you mean by similar. The picture is different, but and these are much bigger. Yeah. It's Camouflage Creations. And yes, they're showing those behaviors dark during the day and spends a lot of time during the night. Well, number one, Camouflage Creations knows what they're talking about. So I will absolutely defer to their analysis of the situation. You are talking to some of the best in the business. So I will give a second opinion, but you are talking to some very good people. They know what they're talking about. And if they're showing those behaviors dark during the day, spends a lot of time during the light, then those are the behaviors that go along with being cold. So lower that light a little bit more and give them a little bit more heat. Now, if you are concerned, the question is, why did you raise it in the first place? Was there something? Did you just raise it because people talked about raising the light above the top? or was there a concern about how hot it was? Because the only magic thing about raising it up is so you can dissipate the heat. And you can, and if the little baby panther is crawling on the top of the cage, you need to be careful about that. If they're not crawling on the top of the cage, then you only need to raise it up if it is too hot at where the chameleon is basking, and you can't go down in wattage. So it's always a basking game. But let's see. So an undigested cricket in a stool. Okay. All right. Yeah. So all of this information is starting to lead towards exactly what you think it is. So I'm gonna support the direction you're going. I think you're going in the right direction. Is figuring out how to. Now, one thing you can do is figure out how to heat the area instead of the basking. The problem with the basking is it's one heat spot, and so you can burn your chameleon while you're trying to heat them up. If you can heat the room, then the chameleon doesn't have to rely on the basking spot solely to warm up. So that's another thing to consider. And you can heat the room, you can heat the cage. You can either heat the entire room or you can heat the cage by putting some solid sides that will hold heat in. So that's another option for you. Worried about him crawling on the mesh and it being too hot. It's a very good worry. Does he crawl? When chameleons get to a certain age, certain size, they just can't hold on anymore. So if he gets to that size, then you don't have to worry about it. But before that, it's a very good worry because they will definitely, for some reason, chameleons don't know when they're being burned. And so it's something we've got to watch out and make sure they don't do to themselves. So you're looking at the right things in our mission. So, talking about if the parameters are similar. Yeah, I don't know that. But yeah, that would be, we'll get James out there and he'll give you some insight, at least so we get the rainy season. We'll be there at the end of the rainy season, right before the cyclone season. So hopefully we don't see cyclones. See, what is the best lighting system to use for chameleon with live plants and needs heat? I use the Jungle Dawn LEDs and the Thrive Ecosystem LED bars, and so I use those. If you want heat and UVB together, you can go with the metal halides or the mercury vapors. Although I don't generally do those because you can't. If you want a certain level of UVB, you have to take whatever temperature is at that level of UVB. If you want a certain temperature, you have to take what UVB is at that level. So you can't adjust those parameters individually. But that's another way to do it. How often should a male chameleon poop? Mine eats very well, but poops once a week. If he's an adult, that's fine. That should be fine. Yeah. Appreciate your help. Thank you again. Thank you very much. I'll leave you alone. No, I'm here to be for this hour. I'm here to be bothered. This live session and the one on Saturday. These are my office hours. This is where I interact with the community. I want all of the questions here. I don't do much answering questions via email or direct message or any of that kind of stuff. There's just too much and I can't go through all of it. So I tell everybody, just come to my live session and ask here. And if it takes more than what can be asked here, that's where forums start to come in. That's where Facebook, the Chameleon Enthusiasts, that's one of the few good Facebook groups. The Chameleon forums, great place to go. If the situation needs a real analysis, I'll send you to one of those two places. But if it can be answered, this is where I want to answer questions. And I love this because other people, the entire community, number one, the community can help. It's not just me. We've got a lot of experience sitting here in the chat. And and everybody can grow with every question. So this is the place to ask. The inability to detect your skin burning is a very interesting evolutionary quirk. We have made that observation before, Stinky, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because we separate sunlight into heat, UVB, and white light. Maybe we're confusing them that way. I don't, maybe they don't have the pain receptors. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, Stinky. It doesn't make sense. So we need to figure that out. I don't know why it is. And what Stinky's talking about is if a chameleon is under a heat lamp, even though the heat lamp is too hot, the chameleon will stay there and literally will burn their cask. And that's why we see these ugly burns. It's like, why didn't you move? For some reason, they don't register that they're being burned. Maybe something else. And I mean, okay, we got to be gracious to them. It's not like they evolved to deal with a heat source that's so close that it can burn them. They go into the sun. Okay, now I'm heating up. Could it be that our heat lamps burn them before it heats them up because it's so intense? Maybe. So there's probably a very good explanation as to why they don't get out of the way when they're being burned. We just don't have it yet. We don't have it. You're in a safe place here, and Bill's plumb full of knowledge, so it's all good. Yep. I keep this chat very safe. It's under the half strike rule, where if anybody is going to cause problems, I just boot them off immediately. There's so many places that people can go if they want to cause problems, if they want to argue, if they want to cause drama. Facebook is full of fun like that. So go there. Here, we're just going to have peaceful, educational, and we're just going to hang out and have fun. So, yeah, they've been going strong for millions of years. Probably us being knuckleheads, not them. Yeah, we are just trying so hard to get out of the way of them surviving. They have figured out how to survive. They survive in the nature, which nature's trying to kill them every day, and they survive it. So yeah, it's on us to figure this out. And really, that's our responsibility. If we're going to bring them here, it's our responsibility to figure out what they need, not their responsibility to adjust to whatever we have for them. So, yep, exactly. Does a vitamin A deficiency affect one eye or both? It will eventually affect both eyes, but sometimes it starts on one and the other one joins it. So, but yes, it would affect both eventually. So, all right, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. Give me a second here as I find this. Okay. So let's see. What are your thoughts on the pet trade? Man, I'm late for this one. Yeah, but you know what? You showed up. What are your thoughts on the pet trade for some of the more exotic species of chameleons, like called the lance-nosed chameleon? Jay, which is the lance-nosed chameleon? Like Caluma gallus? Maybe that's what you're talking about. The chameleons are all CITES too. And so what that means is that some scientists group organization has gone on and has said this is how much trade the wild population can handle and be healthy. And I think that's a good thing because it means that these animals have value to people who, instead would just burn the forest down. And that's the balance that we have to do, is to make sure that we don't over collect, but giving them value is a way of ensuring that they will go on. So it's definitely a balance. as for the more exotic species, I mean, I'm okay if some of the exotic species don't come in. We have some of the most incredible species of chameleons that are here already, and we have a lifetime to figure out with what's here already. So I'm okay if new species don't come in. I mean, I've got my hands full with the ones that are here. So that's what I say. That's what I say. Um, Not that one, but had a similarly large nose. Yeah, I mean, it's the same for every exotic species. We don't need more species of chameleons here. We have enough to work with. We have more than we know how to take care of right now. So I say we just work with what we've got. We've got incredible species right now, and we still need to figure out how to reliably breed Kaluma. So yeah, I'm okay with what we got. So all right, everybody, I want to say for those of you who would like to support, usually we have a Patreon support, but and I thank you very much for the Patreon supporters. I have another option for you is to support the virtual campus where we go to learn about parasites and stuff like that. But I'm putting a link in at least the YouTube chat for if you want to support the Chameleon Academy outreach. Definitely appreciate it. But this puts you into a chat that I can actually give more value than I'm able to on Patreon. So so if you would like to support the Chameleon Academy outreach, just go to that link that's in the YouTube chat, and it's a $10 a month support. And if you can join that would be great. And I'll talk to you on the inside forum. So, all right, everybody. What's up next is tomorrow at 1:00. We're going to have another episode of how to create your own YouTube channel. That's on the Bill Strand YouTube channel. It's a different one. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, I will be back here Saturday at 12 noon Pacific on the YouTube channel. I don't do so that one is only on YouTube. So just got a Mitsio today. Oh, that is so cool. Very cool. Very cool. So, all right, everybody. How do you tell if a chameleon has something in its eye? Well, it'll generally be not comfortable with its eye. But, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. And I will. Oh, wait a minute. Eric says I'll sign up for the virtual campus tonight. Thank you, Eric. And actually, the support really does help. The reason why it really helps is because I created a course, and I put that course on a professional course community platform, which costs me money every month. So this is helping me build up and offset that cost. So yes, I'm very excited when people join the virtual campus. Thank you very much, Eric. And everybody, I will see you later. Thanks for coming. It's been great show.